Hello everyone and welcome to A Studios. Today I am going to be teaching you how to make a thumbnail. This is based on how I make my thumbnails and it's just going to be sort of a tutorial how-to video. So first you want to get whatever video you have in mind to make a thumbnail for. I'm not making this Hello everyone and welcome to A Studios. Today I am giving you a little tutorial on how to make a thumbnail. This is really just how I make thumbnails. I make my thumbnails in Metabang Paint, which is the program that I use to digitally draw in. I have a tablet, I have my mouse, and we're all ready to go. So the first thing that you want to do is, what video are you making this for? For most of mine, I've made them for my videos. I've made them. This is for my 6 styles in 6 minutes video. This one is for my line art collab video. This was for my plan with me, and this was for my printmaking video. Now there are about four different things that you want to keep in mind when you are making your thumbnail. Now, of course, you could make your thumbnail vastly different from what's in the video, but I prefer to keep it so that people kind of have an idea of what they're getting without showing everything off. So for this one, for example, I use a I use a tilt shift sort of frame on the Lumos part of this print, and if you've seen the video, you've seen how it's done. And then I have a title and I blur everything else out, so that is the one thing that stands out the most. In this one, I have an overlay over a picture that I show within the actual video of my planner, of my bullet journal, so that you can see this is what I'm doing, this is kind of what it looks like. So if you're interested with Plan With Me's and bullet journals, you'll see Plan With Me and you'll see that it's March. And since March is St. Patrick's Day and it's green, I had a green overlay over my picture. For this one, it's just more opacity. Since this was a coloring collab, I decided to have the original art piece over here overlaid with the actual line art so that you could kind of see the color but not really see the color. So opacity plays a big role in what you want people to see and what you don't want people to see. And then, you know, just having a gradient makes it really nice and looks professional. For this one, I used the same sort of thing where I blurred out the characters in the back. You can still see them, you still see what I draw. But the most important style in this video, which was my style, is the one that's the most prominent and it's the one that's in the front and that's not blurred out. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the titles and subtitles. So here I have a title, which is what I'm mostly going to put in the YouTube title. Now sometimes the rest of it, I also add a subtitle. The rest of it I'm not going to put in my YouTube title. Usually it's just this big part right here. You want this to catch people's attention and you want it to tell them what's in the video. I do follow people that don't have titles in their videos, but as an art person, I think it's really nice to have this sort of, you know, this is what it is. I'm not trying to trick you or, you know, not show everything. This is just what it is. This is what it is. It's a line art open collab. I made sure to credit the people that drew the original line art in the subtitle, which is why I have a subtitle, to give a little bit more information about the video or about the people who are in the video. With this one, you know, it's Plan With Me, which could become, you know, a series of me doing bullet journaling, and then the March 2018, which subdivides it into this is the month that I'm doing. And then for this one, it doesn't really have to do anything with the actual, you know, this is what it is, a Harry Potter printmaking process. I do a printmaking process in this video. That's what it is. And then I have some of it blurred out so you can see what it is. And then I have the subtitle that kind of goes in a little bit more detail of what kind of printmaking it is. Well, it's a woodblock relief. And it's from carving the block to the ink print of it. So now I'm going to demonstrate how to make your own thumbnail. This is just going to be using the original, or the 4 little things that I have, which I will also put down in the description below so you guys can remember what they are. And I'll have a little thing at the end that points out all of the pieces in my title thumbnail, this little tutorial thumbnail that I'm doing for you now. And there you have it, folks. How to make appealing thumbnails using blur, tilt shift, opacity, and overlay. So just to go over it one more time, blurring, of course, is blurring the background. Blurring these 3 little thumbs that are back here that were, of course, important to the picture, but also were not necessarily needed. This is what I do when I make art. It's really apparent in this one, where I have mine most dominant and outlined, which I used here, and then blurred out everything else. Tilt shift is more like having a general blur over everything where you can't really tell that there's a difference, which is sort of like this if I turned off the outline layer. That's more of a tilt shift. Now you can't really tell because the thumbs are all separate, but there would be a tilt shift around this. Since I don't actually have a tilt shift tool, this is what I use to make it seem like one thing is more prominent than the other. And then I showed you how to make an outline around your tilt shift, which helps when you want to accentuate that one part that's not blurred. Opacity, using opacity with layers and different colors, which I didn't use when making this thumbnail. But if I wanted to, I could always add an opacity or have an overlay, a colored overlay over these thumbs, like I have in this one, where I have a green overlay over the photo as well as a blur, and then have the opacity down so that you can see the image behind it. You enjoyed this outcome, and I hope this really helps you when you're making your own professional looking thumbnails. Make sure to let me know if you did. You can tag me on Instagram in your thumbnails, or leave a link down in the comments for me to look at your amazing YouTube videos with amazing thumbnails.